Thank you for coming. I know it's really, really early, so I'm going to make it short and sweet. I see some familiar faces. I've been harassing people constantly to come this morning, so thank you for coming. I know that some of you were expecting Rodolfo Onofrio to come, and unfortunately, he wasn't able. I think you all know that River and Boca are going to see each other in the final of Copa Libertadores next week, and he had to stay back in Argentina. Even though I think that he was a bit worried that people would ask him for free tickets, so he didn't come to Soccerex. Anyways, my name is Victoria Kojevina. I'm 27 years old, and I am the CEO and founder of Silicon Soccer. I am here to tell you a story, my story. And I hope that by the end of this session, you guys get a bit inspired to join me on this journey. I am from the best country in the world, Argentina. Who else is here from Argentina? Anyone else? We have a few. Vamos! What about Racing fans? Any Racing fans here? Yes? One? Yes? Okay, great, perfect. So I'm a Racing fan. My brother made me one when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and he took me to the stadium, to La Popular. I don't know if you guys know what La Popular is, but it's where the hooligans go. It's very, very intense. There's a lot of passion in there. And I was this young little girl. There's a picture, I think, somewhere. Very blonde, very curly hair. And I think you're going to see it on screen, just so you get a better sense of what I look like when I was going to the stadium. And it's there in that stadium that I learned what soccer really means. And my brother, what he used to do was put me in front of these metal structures called paravalanchas. Paravalanchas are meant for people not to step on each other when there's a goal celebration. So he would put me in front of it, and then people would go crazy. He would go crazy, and then he would come back and find me. And actually, last month, I was in La Popular, and I shot this video that I want to share with you guys so you see what I'm talking about. So it's a very short clip, but I think that you get a notion of what it means, right? It's a very intense place, and it's there at the age of 6 or 7 that I learned the freedom soccer provides, right? The sense of community and the sense of belonging. And all these amazing memories I had, even 20 years later, inspire me to do what I do. In 2015, I was approached by my mother, who is over here, with a crazy idea. If you knew my mother, you know that she has many of those. She was tired of the way the soccer industry was working. She thought players were being treated unfairly and that corruption was taking over. So she told me, why don't we partner together and we build a player representation agency? We bring Latin American players to the MLS, probably the most coveted talent in the world, and it was needed here in this country. SR All Stars was born here in Miami, of all places, so I feel very much at home, and I hope all of you do too. And its mission was to create the first corporate structure around Latin American players. When we decided to take this huge challenge, we took a very public stance. We said no illicit business. We said no briberies. We said only transparency. And people thought that we were completely crazy, but we did it, and I'm very proud that we did. As SR Stars grew, and our anti-corruption ethos began to spread and gain traction, a lot of amateur and semi-pro players were calling us to get representation. And what happened is that the agency was only servicing professional players, so we couldn't really help them. But I made it my point to talk to these people so I could learn a bit of what they needed. And all I could hear was that they didn't have access, they didn't have opportunities. In Argentina, if you weren't well connected or you weren't working with an agent at the age of 12 or 13, which you're not supposed to, they weren't getting access to the clubs. It was just not happening. And in the US, the problem was even bigger. If you didn't have money, if your parents didn't have money, it was impossible for you to play soccer in this country. It costs about $20,000 a year, and I know most of you know this number because it's scary, to play soccer. And I come from a country where that doesn't happen. So I was trying to figure out how we could solve this from the agency. And then I had my idea. I had a crazy idea. And that's how I decided to leave the agency and create a new company called Silicon Soccer. Silicon Soccer would not only service players and provide them visibility through technology, but it would also help clubs, FAs, and associations to save money and to save time when trying to find amateur talent. The first step was to name the problem. The amateur talent identification process had become biased, and it was time to find a solution. And the solution was Gloria. Not this Gloria. Gloria Stefan. But this Gloria. Gloria by Silicon Soccer. A technology, very simple technology, where players from all around the world, from any background, from any age, are able to upload their video. You and I, most of us here in this room, have a CV to show our achievements. Soccer players have videos. And on the other side of these platforms, there's club FAs and leagues that are ready to use this as a SaaS product, as a technological tool, as a professional tool to find players, to filter their needs, and to categorize them. It's very simple to use. We made it a point, or we made it our mission, really, to have a technology that wouldn't feel intimidating to anyone, even to people that have been doing this job for over 30 years the same exact way. We wanted for players all over the place to be able to upload their video in 2 quick steps and just make this whole process that's very manual, slow, and costly, just faster. Gloria, or glory, is really what we look in soccer, right? We don't do it for the money, we do it for the glory. That's where the name came from, even though the fact that it's a woman's name is no coincidence. Now we had a problem, we had a solution, but we didn't know where to build the solution, right? We knew there was a lot of corruption inherent to this sector of this industry. So I started posing myself with my team a lot of questions, right? How could we build a legitimate piece of technology our stakeholders could trust? How could we shine a light onto one of the darkest corners of the industry and find the most powerful allies in doing so? Where could we build a business with a massive vision and a massive mission? A business that would target 60 million kids in Latin America and in the US alone. How could we release a solution to the market that would create enormous profit without the corruption? And Silicon Valley was the answer. The epicenter of technology and innovation. The home of Apple, Facebook, Uber, and so many other companies that changed the world as we know it. The one place where problems were being solved constantly. So I started my research and quickly found out that there was no football tech industry in Silicon Valley. At least not in Silicon Valley, right? I know that in Europe and most places in Latin America, they're there, but in Silicon Valley, it didn't exist. There was no historical records of institutional funding for soccer startups. How could one of the most globalized industry of them all, our industry, didn't have a presence in Silicon Valley. I was shocked. And then I started talking to my advisors. Silicon Soccer has an amazing board of advisors comprised by the most talented people I know. People at Nike and River Plate, Seattle Sounders, and many others. Some of them sitting here today. They not only believed in me, but they believed in the mission. And even though I came with the idea of going to Silicon Valley, and most of them told me I was completely crazy again, they basically told me something very simple. They're like, imagine going to Argentina and trying to sell a baseball platform. Nobody's gonna get it. People are not gonna get it. And they were absolutely right. I went to Silicon Valley, I started meeting with VCs, venture capitalists, angel investors, and everyone said no. It was an experience, really. They told me three things that I remember, right? The first thing, they told me your addressable market is too small, which all of us know it's not. Then they told me soccer in the United States is never gonna be big. Well, we're all here in this room today, so I think that that was wrong too. And then the third thing, it was a question. Isn't your industry corrupted? And I was like, okay, there it is. Corruption. What a reputation. All the way in Silicon Valley, people thought that we were all corrupted. Spoke with my board of advisors, and we changed everything. We decided to be bolder, to reward, to restructure, and to remarket the company's vision. I started using this opening quote. Around half the planet watched the 2006 World Cup final. 3 billion humans have never done anything simultaneously before. This is Silicon Valley language. They wanted 3 billion people addressable markets. I switched my pitch, and I was not a soccer company. I was a tech company servicing the soccer industry. And now I had their attention. But still, I was struggling to raise my first round. I heard the word no 47 times. 47 times. I'm never gonna forget that number. Until meeting number 48. This person I met saw right through the heart of the mission. Not only did he see a massive commercial opportunity, but he saw a unique chance to fund a business that would democratize opportunity for kids all around the world. And then it all made sense. People in Silicon Valley couldn't understand the magnitude of our market, but what they could do was see the social responsibility this project came with. Human compassion. That is universal. A culture of compassion in business. Now, we're finally talking the same language. I am a great believer in the healing power of soccer, and I believe everyone in this room is too, or at least at some level. We get to see every day how soccer changes the lives of people. And this singular idea was what opened the door to Silicon Valley. Soccer as a vehicle for social change, technology as a funnel, and the combination of both as a powerful solution to a painful problem. The recent allegation of child prostitution rings in Argentina, not millions, but at least thousands of hundreds of third-party ownership deals that go on with amateur players and semi-pro talent every day, gives us at Silicon Soccer an extra incentive. Maybe incentive is not the right word. It gives us our responsibility. We feel very responsible to not only build a trustworthy software, a transparent technology, but a safe space for players, clubs, and FAs and leagues. Today, I'm very proud to say that Gloria has found its home in Silicon Valley and has been acquired by a local holding. We have also signed pre-agreements with leagues, FAs, and clubs in Latin America, Europe, and the United States. Our purpose is to remove bias from the soccer talent identification process by leveraging technology. Our vision is to detect talent through video AI engineering, not only by measuring technical abilities of the players, but also their character traits. When you put artificial intelligence together with data, you get something more profound. You get exponential learning. And this is the ultimate competitive advantage. We don't want to replace humans by no means. Scouters all around the world do their job and they need to keep doing it. We just want to automatize and make it faster and easier for them. And at the same time, provide visibility to kids all over the world. No matter where they are, no matter who they are, no matter how much money their parents have. Just being judged by talent. That's all. Before I let you go, I want to tell you two things. First of all, thank you to all the people that believed in this mission. I know some of you are sitting in this room today, and we wouldn't be here without you. Thank you to the FAs, to the clubs and leagues that already believe in Gloria. Thank you for adopting the technology, and thank you for walking this journey with us. To everyone else in this room that believes that you can join us in some kind of way, please reach out, spread the word, and walk this journey with me. Thank you very much.